know, we're the same age,
Yeah.
right? Do you say what a lot?
Yeah, our hearing goes, huh?
Yeah.
Huh? I can't, huh? Yeah. My wife, who's Russian, and she mumbles.
Yeah.
You know, so good luck, man. Huh? What? I don't.
Well, how did you meet a Russian girl? How does that happen?
He opened up his wallet, and there she was.
I answered an ad in the. I responded to an ad in the paper. It said, "Wanted Latino boy toy." I said, "I can do that."
So when you guys started out, so you were representing what they called the counterculture at the time, which would have been me even.
Yeah.
We were young and against the war in Vietnam.
Well,
and-
we kind of, at least I did anyway. I copied you in your contemporaries, the committee.
Yes, the committee in Second City was
Second
me,
City.
and
The committee
and the
in
committee
Second
was
City.
Second City.
And then when Cheech and I got together, Cheech had never seen the committee or
Second City.
or Second City, and so I would try to remember the bits that I saw
Yeah.
from, and then we would read. We would do our version. of it.
Yeah, it's great.
In the place where we started, which was a topless bar in Vancouver.
Oh, in Vancouver.
In Vancouver, and it was like right downtown Chinatown, the worst.
Oh.
It was tough place, but it was like the first topless bar in Vancouver.
Yep.
Yeah, the first topless bar. So so Tommy comes and tells his girls, we're gonna do an improv theater now, and so you're not strippers anymore, you're actresses, but you get paid less, but you still get naked.
Yeah.
And so we
course.
did a naked improv 4 hours a night every night. It was cool.
And did they do actually improv?
As much as they could remember.
Well, we did the same format, you know, where, like the committee, they would do it the first show.
Yeah.
Then they would ask questions from the audience.
Suggestions from the audience.
Suggestions from the audience to
Yes.
do their second show.
Yes.
And usually the suggestions with a strip joint was, take off your clothes. Hey, show your butt.
Yeah, we could do that. It was tough. People would try to get on stage and beat us up all the time.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. Because they were drunk loggers. They want to see naked girls, not guys with long hair talking to them. You know?
So it wasn't about how volatile the material. They would have done it to anybody, just keeping them from the girls.
Yeah,
right?
well, a lot of them just got out of jail,
Yeah.
you know, and so they would come to our club, you know, looking for something to do. And so it got interesting.
Were those late 60s, like around
That
then?
was, yeah,
68.
68, yeah.
68.
Right.
We spent 68 putting our act together.
Put our act together.
And you guys were totally unique,
Yeah.
especially at that time.
Yeah.
You know, people might look back at it and think, oh, there must have been a lot of that around. There wasn't.
There wasn't.
It was only you.
Yeah, we stole home plate, basically.
Yeah.
And anybody tried to do that, oh, you're just doing Cheech and Chong, you know? So, oh, well, we're not going to do that anymore.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, drugs, that was it. You couldn't talk about drugs. You couldn't talk about marijuana. I mean...
That's all we talked about.
Ah, man. That's some heavy shit, man. Hey, man. Am I driving okay?
I think we're parked, man.
Oh, shit.
So, Dane, we know each other.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah, I know David. Well, first of all, I did a pilot.
Yes.
We did a pilot together that
Yes. I
you
directed.
directed.
Yep.
And I remember the thing that I took away from it is when David would come to direct, that set would be jam-packed with relaxation.
That's a good thing.
It was. I've never wanted to sit like this so much in my life as to when I finally. You make me want to sit with my legs crossed.
I uncrossed
It
my
was a
legs.
delightful experience working with you on that.
Yeah, it was fun. So take me back to that time, because you, at that time, were known for, maybe, I'm going to cross my legs again, maybe one of the first comedians ever to really use the internet, and the internet wasn't as what it is now. It wasn't even
Right.
up like it is
It was
now.
56K modem at the time. It was very, very laggy.
Right.
I would go into like chat rooms. It could be a chat room for women who are trying to deal with their first pregnancy, and I'd be in there like, hey, what's up? I'm a comedian. I got a 10-minute chunk on Lamaze. And I would put a link up, and I would just really kind of travel I was like the Jack Kerouac of the internet travels, and go into different rooms and just, please come and check me out. And I would send links and upload audio of my performances. I started finding people that way,
And it's just an incredible thing. You were so ahead of everybody else, actually.
I tried to bring them on board. Trust me, I was telling other comics, I was like, no, this is the way you need to do it. I think that it fit into my kind of personality off stage, because some comics are the skulk about, hang around types.
Yes.
And I was really still very introverted person. I had like social anxieties that I had dealt with in my youth, and then that went into my comedy years where I felt great in front of crowds, but I kind of was more lone wolf when it was off stage.
Yes.
So it worked for me because I could leave I wasn't really interested in the after party, so to speak, but I could get home and treat it like politics and still, suss it out and figure out who really is into me and why. And it was the right thing at the right time for my mentality.
Yeah. And then you started to see people showing up in all your venues, right?
I did, especially in colleges. A lot of the college kids grabbed onto it. My dad said something really fascinating to me. He said, play a lot of those colleges, Dane. And I would say, what, why is that? Because he went to school, I didn't. I went right into, pounding the pavement after high school. He said, the things that you discover in your college years, you'll take with you for the rest of your life. And if you can really find those fans, you'll probably pay your rent for a long time to come. And it stuck with me. I'm going to play these schools. I'm going to use the internet like they do to communicate with them. And nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. So that was the beginning.
But even then, I remember it was very quick to, like a Madison Square Garden, that you just seemed to come out of nowhere.
It seemed that way.
Yeah, it seemed that way.
What's that saying? 18 years to become an overnight sensation?
Yeah, to fill up Madison Square Garden on the level that you did, you're not unknown.
Well, it's because we're talking about the internet, and I came at it from I didn't come through the media angle, which is they didn't kind of put me in there through, Rolling Stones, right? Nobody had really written much about me.
Right.
So I came in through this, interesting, vantage point. And then, but for me, I'd played, plenty of colleges and, road shows that I knew that the crowds were there.
Right.
And I knew that was a possibility to be able to play the big show. It's just, I think everybody else had to kind of catch up.
Madison Square Garden, thank you so much!
Are you a Canadian as well, Cheech?
I am American, but I lived in Canada for 3 years.
got his papers.
I was a landed immigrant and everything.
So you went to Vancouver? Is that
I went to Calgary, and I was working I was a potter. I went to be a pottery assistant for this very famous guy. And so then I went to Banff to learn how to ski, broke my leg in half, and then eventually I made it to Vancouver. And that's
Tell them how
where I
you
met Tom.
learned how to ski, Mexican style.
Mexican style. They take you to the top of the hill, they put skis on you, and they say, go. all the way off the mountain, through the parking lot. It ran out of snow, and into a bus. Bang! First day, man. That I didn't break my leg sooner is a miracle.
Astonishing.
It's astonishing because I didn't know how to stop. You know.
So at this Canadian time, so you guys had an act and material because
Yeah.
you're working really in the best conditions you can for what you do.
Absolutely.
As hard as it is, it's the best. Yeah.
2 to 3 hours a night.
Incredible. In front of an audience, an unlistening audience a lot,
Yeah.
so you have to win them over.
Yeah.
It's the best
There
training
was
you
no
can have.
gimmies in that
No.
area.
So when we started doing prisons, we were good.
Yeah.
In prisons, because
Yeah.
one time we did San Quentin, and we were invited in by this group of bikers that got organized.
Hell's Angels.
Yeah, it was, and so
Ginger.
their girlfriends came, and they were all strippers, all dancers, and so we brought a band in, and the girls got up and they danced as naked as they could possibly get in San Quentin.
Wow.
And if you can follow naked women in San Quentin, you got an act, Yeah. So I go, well, that's pretty good. We did a lot of prisons that way, man.
Wow.
And so we're doing our act, and when they let us in, they didn't search us or anything. They just, yeah, come on, you're going into prison, so we're not going to search you. What would you have in prison?
Yeah.
So as we're walking to the stage, they said, oh, by the way, there's a no hostage rule. In other words, if they take you hostage, we'll kill you.
Any shit breaks out,
You're done.
You're done.
And you can't wear denim.
Yeah.
Oh,
Blue
because
denim.
you'll look like that.
You look like that.
And so halfway through the act, I do this Reverend Dyke guy, where I'm going to save this young lady, and I get usually a volunteer, but in this case, the only woman there was Ginger, the stripper.
Yeah.
So I brought Ginger up. I said, I'm going to save this young lady. I want to save this young lady. And then Cheech comes running out, dressed like a samurai warrior with a sword, and he goes toward the girl. I pull out a .45 blank and shoot Cheech dead. Bam, bam. I have saved this young lady, and usually we get a big roar of applause.
Yeah.
But in this case, it
Silence.
was silent.
Deadly, deadly.
They're looking at that gun saying, how can I get that gun?
And two guards jump him, man. Boom, wrestle, bang, the thing out of his hand, and beat him up. No, it's okay. It's just a starter pistol. In San Quentin, it's like,
Then the act went on.
Yeah.
I go backstage, and the guards are going through our stuff, and they're finding more pot than I knew we had. And they didn't give a shit about the pot. They're throwing the pot
they're
aside.
looking for guns.
They're just looking for more guns.
Smoking out on the open,
Yeah. And that you had to do some prison time or something
Yeah.
for the stupidest little
At the Rock, he went to the Rock.
rock.
It was ordained.
Yeah.
It was meant
Tell
to
me
be.
about it. Tell me.
Well,
me
I
about
knew. We did an interview, and I said something about jail, and I said, well, jail, if you treat it right, it's not all that bad. You get to go away by yourself, and if you go away for a noble cause and blah, 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 next thing I know.
He was in jail.
Yeah.
When I
I knew
heard he
jail.
got sentenced, I go, he'll be all right. He'll be fine. He's going to go to Camp Cupcake, and then it has a lot of fans there. And I think he'll actually thrive in there.
Did you
And that's-
really?
Yeah, I wasn't worried about him at all. He'll be
And what
fine.
were you frightened? Or?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. I when I was a kid in Calgary, I used to collect strays, people.
Yeah.
Like guys that just got out of jail, nowhere to go, and I said, come on, you can stay at my house. And so my house was really a halfway home for a lot of people just released out of jail. Because the sad thing is when a lot of people get released out of jail, they don't have anything.
Sure.
They don't have money, they don't have bus fare, they don't have a
Anywhere to
job,
go.
nothing.
Yeah.
They just open the door, they kick your ass out, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of them come back, because that's the only life they know.
Yeah.
And so in my house, my mother was very cool about it, my dad was very cool, and so I learned a lot about jail before I went to jail.
So you were doing movies at the time as well,
Yes.
right? And very good at that. You're an actor. You're a natural actor, and like that. Was there a goal? Was there a goal out of the movies, or did you want to do another series? Where were you going to go around the stand-up?
I think I wanted to be with people because of really feeling so isolated when I was a kid. I was looking for companionship. And what I felt like is I'm a creative person. I like to be around people in an ensemble, figuring it out and it's not about me. The stand-up is all about you. You know, you're the writer, producer, director, sometimes the bouncer.
Yes.
You never know what you're gonna have to deal with when you're up there.
Yes.
So it fed just a different part of my creativity, and more than anything, it made me feel like I belonged with a pack. I think
Actors.
I've looked for that my whole life. You know, if I'm not creating my own, it's where do I fit in with other human beings that are like-minded.
So tell me about the careers since we've been together. There seemed to be I remember a lot of people talking about you, and then it seemed to explode, and then it seemed to collapse a little bit. Is that right?
I wouldn't say it collapsed, but I would say the pendulum definitely, if it's going to swing far and high this way, then you kind of know that it's gonna, it's gonna swing back the other. It's gonna settle.
Right.
You know, I went through the Hollywood spanking machine. I took it on the rear like anybody does.
Give me an example.
When you're a self-made person like that,
Yes.
then you're gonna be, deconstructed and you're gonna be dismantled.
Yes.
And that's the Hollywood way. It's that thing of like, no, in order for us to like you again and really believe that you made it, you gotta suck for a while. We have to, say disparaging things about you.
Sure.
We have to say we were blind to let this person think that he
was gonna be
bamboozled.
Yes.
And so I just took it all. I didn't fight it. I wasn't calling morning DJs and trying to plead my case. I just took it. But that time was also during that time where I was just trying to take care of my family. So it was happening as it should, because that's what a career is.
Yes.
But I didn't pay it so much mind because it wasn't as important as what was happening at home.
And were there sad things happening with the family and difficult things? And...
Both my parents got ill with cancer in the same year. I lost both my folks within 9 months to 2 different cancers.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really impossible time. I had a brother business manager who stole a lot of money from me. I cared about him. I loved him. So it was a betrayal on the heels of these things with my parents. And when I finally came up for air, I was like, oh, well, it's time to start over in some ways. It's time to figure out what's funny now and what fans are still, kind of hanging around and interested in that. So I was never upset that it peaked at that moment.
So how did you start to make it in the States?
Well, I was a good friend of Red Fox. And Red Fox used to hang out at the After Hours Club we had in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And so I knew Red personally very well. And so I called him up, and he was out of town, but he had a nightclub on La Cienega. And we went down to Red Fox's club. Lenny Bruce had his entourage. He had just died. And so his entourage was still together. And they were hanging out at clubs, Sally, and Tony, and all the whole
Sally
gang.
Mars, his mother.
And Tony Biscara worked the door, and that they were sitting there.
Yeah.
They saw us for the first night, the first time ever in L.A. And so Tony came up to me after, and he was one that told me, he says, they've been looking for comedians, looking for Lenny.
Yeah.
And he said, you guys are the closest thing yet.
But there's 2 of you.
2 of you instead of Lenny.
2 ladies.
Yeah, I saw Lenny at the Gate of Horror.
Yeah.
And it was sort of life-changing to see someone like that. I didn't know if I was ever going to be in comedy, but I just couldn't get over the honesty, and I couldn't get over how long he went without a laugh.
Yeah.
Really? He made points, and then all of a sudden he'd go into Frankie Dell and and kill, but he never needed laughs all the time.
It was a different rhythm that was coming into that improv rhythm. That's what we represented.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly, because when I got turned on to pot, the guy in Calgary, the jazz guy in Calgary, handed me a joint and a Lenny Bruce record at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that changed my life.
Yeah.
Because that joint lasted a month.
Yeah.
Very Canadian, take a toke, put it out.
Yeah.
My
and
dad
listen to the
introduced me
records.
to Lenny Bruce.
Really? Oh,
When
yeah,
I didn't know I was being introduced to Lenny. My dad was a cop, LAPD, 30 years, and all his buddies were cops. And so I just remember the other cops would come over with their wives for dinner, and after dinner they send the kids to bed. Well, I was a kid, and they sent me to bed, and then they would play their Lenny Bruce records. They would drink beer and listen. And so I heard a lot of those bits. I didn't know what they were. I was a little kid, but I remember they were things that they were laughing at, And so years later, when I actually heard the bits again, oh, they were listening to Lenny Bruce. They loved Lenny Bruce.
Yeah.
Those are great days because the rhythm of comedy was shifting.
It all, shifting. Then you start to do movies, right? And that was huge, right? Those movies were, incendiary to a lot of people because it was just so outspoken in every way.
Well, we got into movies because we hated going to Australia every year.
Why did you have to go to Australia?
Because that's where the work was.
The work was there.
And so we would miss summer here.
Right.
We'd go to Australia and get in time for their winter. Then we'd come back in time for our winter. We did that 3 years in a row, and I told Cheech, I can't do this anymore. Because the help and the house were enjoying the house more than I was.
Yeah.
So we got to make movies. We were saying this to each other. We got to make movies. We got to work 18 hours a day instead of 1 hour a night.
Yes, it's so hard, right.
No, so we started exploring the movie angle, and then Lou Adler heard that we wanted to do, he understood what we wanted to do, so he arranged the financing for Up in Smoke.
And did you guys make money off of that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did good.
We did really well.
Not as good as we should have, but
But still.
No,
because it was
compared to everybody else, we did really, really well. By accident, as usual.
Yeah, everything. Yes. Anything you plan never works.
No, it never does.
And that's one of the lessons you learn. If you have a career, don't think that this is the right thing, whatever you're doing, because it's going to be something else.
Well, what the movies allowed us all, besides doing those kind of movies, is that we became very international.
Yes.
Because the movies went internationally.
Right.
And
Go to England.
All over Europe, all over Australia, China, Afghanistan. I mean, there's to this day, people still saw them in their native countries.
Where are you in that arc right now?
Constantly learning. I remember I went to Mr. Larry Moss, a very famous acting instructor. Somebody gave me as a gift, like a session with Larry Moss. And I remember about 10 minutes in, him and I just had this immediate kind of connection. And for whatever reason, his eyes got a little watery, telling me about something he noticed about me immediately. And then next thing you know, I'm getting a little emotional. And he finally just leaned in and he grabbed me. He's like, Dane, you're never gonna fill that hole. The hole from your youth. Stop trying to fill it.
Very smart.
And show it to people and own it. That's your hole. That's my stuff. That's my emptiness. And it was like both of us sitting in this.
Well, it's great advice.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And it was like, oh, when I do that, and if I can do that on stage, and I remember hearing that and then writing the bit about my mom had passed away 2 years earlier, and I wrote the bit about still having her number in my cell phone. And I'd do this routine on stage where I'd say, finally I decided to delete my mom's number. And then recently I was like, you know what? It's time to move on. I've done the grieving and the healing and everything. And so I looked at it and I was, kind of smiling on my face. I was ready to go. And then I thought, just for old time's sake, because I called it so many times, I'm gonna call it one last time for good luck. It just felt right. And then I was just about to hit send, and then I thought, what if she fucking answers? This is Donna, guess who's in Cabo? What the fuck, Ma? You said you died of cancer. Is Dad dead? Yes, your dad did die of cancer, actually. I'm kidding, he's right here. George, say hi. Ha 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 ha. That's a twofer. But it was the crack I needed to start sharing. And where am I now? I'm doing a lot more of that. It's just sharing all of me. And if that means sharing the truth and what I think is observational humor and absurd and wild, great. And if it's something that has to do with, like my last special, a lot about relationships, a lot about modern relationships, tech relationships, and kind of how we isolate ourselves. And I get to, have a wider area, playing field of good stuff to be able to knock around in there, which feels good. So that's kind of where I'm at.
And you own a piece of the culture just from what your career has been anyway. So right now it's in a very good place, wouldn't you say? I mean,
Sure.
you're
Don't
in a
jinx
good
it,
place.
David. You never call a no-hitter. Come on, man.
Because-
I want you to edit that shit out. I don't even want that.
It's great to talk to you, Dane.
Thank you so much, David.
Thanks.
Really.
Good to see you again. Thanks. Okay, but this is great. I so identify with you guys because we were all there together
All
at the
there
same
together.
time. And it's great to see you and to be with you. Cheech, thank you so
Thank you
much.
much, David.
Tommy, it's
My
always a
pleasure.
pleasure to
Always
see you
good to
guys.
see you.
Thank you.
They can't kill us. They can't kill us.